hey, I don't know what's going to happen and what it's going to be, but I decided to go a long form on YouTube with me talking, because I thought one thing that is actually a first reason you ever followed me somewhere on TikTok or Instagram or here on YouTube, because you kind of liked my thoughts, my observations, my ideas that I shared during that unexpected journey of being famous in Canada. So yeah, I decided to have a little talks with you from time to time. And the very first episode, I decided to talk about what it is that bothers me and my family the most at this point, and what it is to be a Ukrainian right now in the world, not just in Canada, but overall in the world. In short, we call it American roller coaster, but I don't know, maybe it came from America, but I don't know. Yeah, so it basically means even after 7 months of these events, of this war, of this Russian aggression, you still find yourself within a week. You can go from a really high, place in your life, high mood, high overall a good point in your life where you kind of starting to plan something. You look forward to weekends to go somewhere to see something. You enjoy life, etc. But in few days something happens, or even with no particular reason, you just can find yourself in really dark place. And it happens to all of us, all Ukrainians I know. I don't know, maybe it is something similar with your case as well, because we are all humans and we all experience that. But I don't know, in our case, in our family, it's, thank God we go through this with my wife, not simultaneously. I mean, it's either me or she that the one who needs, some sort of encouragement. So whenever I feel bad, I feel down, she's the one encouraging me, and because she feels hopeful, she feels that everything is going to be okay. And the next day, I'm kind of feel okay and feel good, and I see that her mood and her thoughts and the way she talks looks like she's going through a bad times. So yeah, this is something that our family experiencing still after 7 months. I specifically say that it's in my opinion a long time, meaning that any person should adapt to this and kind of get over it. I think, but no, it is something that we cannot get over with. You a couple of weeks ago, it was huge and good informational period of time where all of us, and probably you read that as well, that Ukrainian army does really good, push back, and we all kind of had really happy times, because it felt like it's going to be over soon. Because if they're going that fast and that many, villages and cities they take back for Ukraine and pushing those arcs back to the border, if they would continue with the same speed, I counted that it would be weeks and the war would be over. How naive I was, because of course I'm no military expert whatsoever. You just simply can't go push all the time, especially I know that they do not release the whole picture of how bad losses of Ukrainian army is, just because probably they don't want to stress people out even more. But if you go look like what the other side reporting, the other side taking pictures and posting them online, you can kind of tell that it's not easy to push it back. So yeah, it was a long period, like few weeks that we all kind of felt really hopeful, and then it just stopped. And then right now all we do and all we discuss is that will we have a nuclear strike in the world? You know, how weird is that? How stupid is that? How unimaginable is that people in 21st century think realistically if it's going to happen, something like that. You know, the other day I went online to see the video. It was actually a good video where for 9 minutes it was a clear instruction what to do if you realize that a nuclear strike happened. You know, and I wasn't looking at that video as of, you know, infotainment. We call it entertainment and information, like infotainment purposes. No, I seriously consider that. I sent it to my friends. I said, you know, it is crazy that we have to think about that, but it was crazy to think about war 7 months ago. I was the one, you know, my wife still tells me that few days before war, I was the one, you know, I remember that clearly, that I was the one who was like, you know, do you think the war, what war are you talking about? Come on, honey. Because she was kind of nervous, and I was so pessimistic about, you know, war is going to happen. No, I didn't believe that. So I was even mocking her, oh, go check, go, you know, gather our stuff for emergency suitcase or whatever it's called. I was mocking her because I was 100% sure that it's not going to happen. It's just unreal. I was saying things like, honey, do you think we're gonna have tanks, Russian tanks in our cities going a real war? Are you crazy? You know, because it was something that it was really, it was not hard to believe. It was unreal to believe. It was impossible to believe. And it happened. Right now, it's the same thing. I cannot be so naive at this point, thinking, you know, oh, do you think they're gonna shoot the nuclear strike on Ukraine? Are you crazy? No one is that stupid. Yes, no one is that stupid except you know who. That's a point where we are right now as a family. Overall, we are really good. We are okay. We're in Canada, and there's something really hard to, you know, say out loud. But even if it's if it's going to happen, we're so far from it. Most of my relatives are really far from it. It's just stupid to talk about that, but it is something that we have to talk about, because the more we talk about, the more people aware that it is real. The war is real. The war is continuing in Ukraine. Even the Mr. Zaluzhny, who is general of Ukrainian military, who's, I don't know, in charge of whole military in Ukraine. He's a minister of defense. He said few days ago something like, you know, whenever all Russian troops are out of Ukraine, it's just a period of time to catch our breath and be prepared for the next Russian war. Because we all know who Russians are. That's something that the highest possible military person in Ukraine says, and it's just stupid. I'm jumping, even during that video, I'm jumping from a point where I seriously talk about it to the point where I'm just want to not talk about it. Like I said, our family is fine. We're living in our new house where we rented a new house. Our kids are at school. They have friends. They don't talk about that, war, etc. We're all having fun here. It's all been blessed, and it's getting better and better. All that information, all that war, it just can't go somewhere on a second place or a third place. It will always be on the first place, and it's really sad. It's really sad. I didn't want to depress you or really want to leave you with a positive energy, because even through all these challenges, we feel like there's a lot of good people around us, which is just a pure blessing. We have really good friends here who support us. We don't actually never met any person who would be even neutral. Everyone is really supportive towards our family, and we are really blessed to be here. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about such a serious what we just gonna talk. You can ask your questions in comments. That might be the topic for our new talk. Thank you.